can see from the background, I received my Razor Crest yesterday, and I am extremely pleased with this piece. I would have normally done an unboxing video, but I think those have been done to death. I think I want to do something a little bit more, with a little bit more utility, and give you something that you're probably not going to see. Usually, there's tons of unboxing videos. There's tons of stuff featuring the packaging. I'm not going to do that today. What I am going to do, though, is give you guys a side-by-side comparison with some of the hero ships from the vintage collection line. I do have the first edition Millennium Falcon from, I don't think it was called Vintage Collection at that. I think it was Original Trilogy. I might be wrong. But it's the bigger scale version, not the reissue of the original Kenner. Um, this one doesn't have that premium paint job that the new one from Disney Parks has. Smuggler's Run, I think that's the newest version of the Falcon. I wanted that one. Don't get me wrong. That paint job was pretty killer. Um, but I was able to get a new, the reissue of Boba Fett's ship. It's Slave One. I'm calling it Slave One. I'm always going to call it Slave One until they decide to rechristen it in canon. Uh, if they do, fine, I don't care. But it's always going to be Slave One to me. So I'm going to do the side by side in a couple. Stick with me and we will check it out. So, in order to give you a proper perspective, I'm actually sitting on the floor doing this review because I don't have any space to put these fucking ships. Um, I have a giant picnic table, but I'd have to pull it out of the garage. I'm going to switch perspective and just start giving you the side by side. So, right here, we have the Vintage Collection Millennium Falcon. A bunch of pit droids working on it. So I have had it displayed for a little bit. Here is the Razor Crest. I'm going to try to pull back as much as I can so you can see just how big this thing is. It's fucking huge. Now, when you compare it to the Vintage Collection Slave One, honestly, I have to tell you guys that Slave One, even though it's been oversized and has a lot of really cool detailing, the scale, I mean, I'm sure if you own these already, if you own Slave One, you're going to be able to tell. Just look at it. It should be, at least in my estimation, as big as the Razor Crest. But, you know, cost, plastic, it's just, it's not going to be scale. Now, if HasLab decides to do another crowd-funded ship, Slave One might have to be the one, that one, or the Sandcrawler. Personally, I think this Slave One will suffice until we get a proper size Sandcrawler. That one is the Disney Parks one I got a few years ago. My wife got it for me for my birthday. Now, I did, in full disclosure, I did not buy this piece. This was a gift from my best friend and my wife. They went in on it together, and this is just an amazing fucking ship. It's so beautiful. Just seeing them next to each other. And you can see my Star Wars in 3 3/4 displays I'm going to have to redo everything now to get this to fit in proper. Oh my God, he's so beautiful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and show you some of the detailing on this thing. Again, I'm not going to go too in depth because you're going to be able to see other people do a much better job doing the unboxings. I thought seeing these side by side together would give you a good idea of how this ship is going to fit into your collection. Some of the features here. This is cool. I'm going to show you what this button does here in a second. You pull this panel off and it reveals an escape pod. I thought that was such a cool little touch. Look at all the detail in there. The wash, that dirty wash. Alright, so I'm not going to take off all the paneling. I might take a couple of panels off just to show you, but there's a lot of panels here. Check this. This releases this panel, and then we get storage for the carbonite blocks. One of them broke loose when I was moving here, and they don't really stand on there too good. This is one of the blocks. This is the carbonite chamber. I've got, let's see if you can get, you can't really see it too well. Hold on. You have to, in order, you gotta be careful. There's all these hooks along the inside on either side of the hull. The ramp has some hydraulics there. We've got this panel will pop off, and then it gives you, and it's kind of a they placed one of the hooks where you can't open up the freezing chamber, but I got mithril in there, and then open up this side hatch, and some of my comes with a bunch of these loose packs, supplies, weapons. Now I'm going to show you something, and you need to be aware of this. Let's see the best way to do this. So I've got this. This is the best I can really do. When you put these weapons in the weapons rack, you really need to have small, tiny hands or tweezers or something. It took me over an hour to put those things in and try to find the right slots for each of the weapons. The bitch part were the goddamn grenades. Those grenades were a bitch. I did those first. Fortunately, I have the forethought to do that, because you may want to end up using like some Elmer's glue just to kind of tack them in there a little bit. But they seem to be pretty snug. But I think over time those pegs will slowly stretch that rubbery plastic that the weapons are made of. Now, I'm not going to really open up those two compartments back here. It's hard to see. Come on, focus. But right here, these two open up. The top compartment, you can fit little Grogu in there, or the child, or whatever we're going to call him. And I think this is the panel where Mando is trying to get the kid to help him repair the electronics on the inside. But it only goes in maybe an inch. Then you have this wonderfully molded commode right here, which is a brilliant touch. I close that up. Back here, I thought this was awesome. Cloth netting. that is so cool. I've got it outfitted with its landing struts. Be careful with those, because I think if you got a kid playing with this thing, try to make sure that those struts are not on there. Let's see. Now this hatch canopy is a bitch to get off, but I'd rather be a little difficult than not at all. And then we have our soft goods Mando. He did not come on a card back, so just be aware he came in a little baggie. And I said, oh, he's in the baggie. I'll go ahead and open him up. He looks really cool. He's basically the same figure we got with the Beskar armor, except he's got a soft goods cloak. He's going to just hang out in here for a little bit. So, I was just going to show you one of these panels. There's a lot of these all over the ship. Now, you'll notice there's a molded detailing, but there's no paint detailing, which, it's a shame since you're spending, I don't remember how much this guy cost. I didn't pay for him. I think he was running between $500 and $600, I think. That's so pretty. So if you were going to ask me if I was going to back it myself, when they first announced this, I would have told you no. But as the campaign went on, toward the end, I kept seeing all the promotional materials and stuff, and I was really getting into Mandalorian at the time. So I was like, all right, I told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna pull the trigger. I got a little money. I can do this thing, and it'll be like one of those pieces that it's a once in a lifetime piece, and it really truly is, in my opinion. But then she's like, "No, ask Steven. Don't do that. Don't do it just yet." And then that, of course, that's told me, well, they're planning something. So for Christmas, they gave me Steven, my roommate. He was like, he gave me a little envelope, and it was a printout, saying that he had purchased. Congratulations for purchasing the HasLab Razor Crest. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, it's coming soon. And then it got pushed back, and I was like, and so, while I was waiting for Razor Crest to arrive, I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and I got one of these. And I did a review on this a few weeks ago, and I have to say this is a really, really fun toy, especially for the kids, because this fucking thing ain't for the kids, man. No fucking way. It's a work of art. It's beautiful. The sculpting, the attention to detail. There are some things lacking on it, especially for that price point. Come on, man. Don't cheap out on the paint apps with the small little details. I suppose they had to cut costs somewhere, but I digress. We all know the problem with Hasbro, and especially that HasLab model. I'm not a big fan of it. Now, again, I was going to pull the trigger myself and get one of these. I didn't. I should have, so I could have had one to resell right away. Because these things. If Hasbro decides later on to reissue them, you're probably looking about, I don't know. I mean, if they dumb it down as far as some of the quality on it, and I think they can get away with selling it for $300. Is it worth that price tag that we, the people that back this thing? Who's to say? I love it. I'm a little biased because I'm kind of like a really, really into Mandolorian right now. It's my new jam. Book of Boba Fett, I was very pleased with. A lot of people were not happy with the way they told the story. Personally, I was very patient, and I'm a big fan of Robert Rodriguez. So that being said, I wasn't disappointed, and I'm really hoping that we get that N1 Naboo custom starfighter. That's gonna be bitchin'. But I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments, and if there's something that I kind of glanced over, let me know if there, what you want to see. I figured that doing the side by side would be kind of a more useful tool for you YouTubers out there. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Remember, may the force be with you. This is the way.